It's the NFL on CBS. We join you today from Cincinnati, Ohio. Happy New Year, everybody. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Regular season finale, and the stakes are high. What's on the line here for Baltimore? A chance to clinch the AFC North, which would mean a first-round bye and the number 2 seed behind New England in the AFC. For Cincinnati, a win and they're in. They clinch the wild card. They can still get in with a loss, backing in depending upon what happens later with Oakland and Denver. The weather here in the Queen City, it is windy. Gusts expected between 20 and 30 miles per hour over the course of the afternoon. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew, opening up 2012 with an AFC North battle. Cincinnati won the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so Mike Nugent will kick it off to Tom Zbikowski, and already the wind playing a role here. John Harbaugh, 4 years as the head coach of the Ravens, and will make his 4th straight appearance in the postseason, but trying to get it started at home, which has been the difference in past years where they've had to do it on the road. Marvin Lewis, 9th year as the head man of the Cincinnati Bengals, 10-7 against the Ravens in his career. Nugent will get a little bit of help here. Brandon G is holding it. We're underway from the jungle in Cincinnati. Deep kick by Nugent. Zbikowski will take the knee, and Baltimore will have it at the 20-yard line. Joe Flacco, 4th year in the NFL. He's been to the playoffs every year that he's been the starter here with Baltimore, and he's been the starter since day one.
And he told us yesterday that with Anquan Boldin still sidelined, the Ravens will use 2 tight ends. They're 2 pass-catching tight ends. Kind of copy what the Patriots do with Gronkowski, and Hernandez, Dixon, and Pitta have combined for 87 catches this season.
Flacco had 270 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first meeting against Cincinnati, which was a Baltimore win. Toss it out for the talented rookie Torrey Smith on first down. And Smith angled out of bounds by Adam Jones. He picks up 7. Let's take a look at the starters for Baltimore. This was a question mark. Marshall Yonda going to the Pro Bowl. He is in. Rib injury suffered. Yonda out there for Baltimore. We'll keep an eye on that on the right side of the line. Backs and receivers. You talked about the 2 tight end sets. That means that Ed Dixon and Dennis Pitta will play a big role here in their diesel formation. No Anquan Boldin here. Boldin out with a knee injury. They hope to have him back for the playoffs. Handoff. It's Ray Rice getting his first carry, and he's hit by the safety Chris Crocker. Picks up 2.5 on the play. Defensively for Cincinnati, they come in ranked number 6 in the NFL. Geno Atkins, breakthrough year, 8 sacks to lead the team on the defensive line. Linebackers, Thomas Howard, one of the free agents they signed early offseason from Oakland. He has fit in nicely with this Cincinnati D. And in the secondary, Nate Clements is in his 11th year in the NFL. He has never been to the playoffs, formerly with Buffalo and San Francisco. He can put it into that streak if the Bengals get the win here. 3rd and 1 for Baltimore. Vontae Leach running into a crowd. Very close. And it all depends on the spot. Had to get to the 30-yard line. Looks like a very good spot for the Pro Bowler Leach. Frosty Rucker in on that stop. And it is enough for the Ravens to move the chains.
Just enough for that first down. The Bengals anticipating that power type of formations came with a 5-man defensive line, took out Adam Jones and put in an extra safety, but they could not stop Leach from picking up the first down.
12th carry of the season for Leach. Came over as a free agent from Houston, and what a difference he's made in this running attack. Flacco will use an early timeout with the play clock winding down. 13:09 mark of this first quarter. Paul Brown Stadium is sold out for just the 2nd time this season. They had to do a little extra work this week selling those tickets at a 2-for-1 special, and they went like hotcakes. And the Bengals fans can have an impact.
Now, the atmosphere is obviously a playoff atmosphere because of what you just outlined, Ian. And that's the way it should be at the end of the year. And you got to really commend the NFL for making it that way. How exciting so far has this New Year's Day been around the NFL, especially in the AFC, and more excitement coming later on today. But this AFC North battle, the best division in the NFL. Winning, you're in for Cincinnati. Couldn't be any bigger.
Opportunities here for both teams, though. Baltimore this year finally got over the hump, swept Pittsburgh, but they still need a win to ensure the big seed. Handoff to Ray Rice, and he's off to the races. Rice will take it all the way. Touchdown Ravens, 70 yards. What a rip by Rice. On that right side, Yonda and Dixon creating that open running lane for Ray Rice, and he did the rest with the acceleration.
Watch the block on Ray Maaluga by Marshall Yonda. And then Dixon out in front, as you talked about, Ian, on Lawson. Career-long rush for Ray Rice. What a start for the Ravens, especially after a timeout, to come out after they pick up the initial first down and get the long run.
First meeting against Cincinnati, Rice went for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. That caps off a 4-play drive. It covers 80 yards. Rice gets 70 on one long sprint. Baltimore on the board with a 7-0 lead. Ray Rice, 70-yard touchdown run. Billy Cundiff is active today. Cundiff was nursing a calf injury, didn't kick last week. Shane Graham filled in for him. Brandon Tate, the return man for Cincinnati there, with Albert McClellan making the play on special teams. Let's go back to the touchdown run.
Well, the influence of Smith coming in motion here really affects the weak safety, Reggie Nelson. He comes this way, and all the action is going the other way. They have so much respect for the speed of Smith on the end around. 2 great blocks, Dixon and Yonda, and it's a 70-yarder for Ray Rice. In the first game, he went for 59 yards, a long run. Other than that, the Bengals have held him down to 2.8 yards per carry.
Cincinnati, first play from scrimmage. It's Cedric Benson running up the middle. Keep in mind, Vontae Leach got the first down by about an inch on the previous play just to keep the drive going. Andy Dalton, he has not looked like a rookie, 24-year-old from Katy, Texas. What an outstanding season he's had in his first year in the NFL.
And according to offensive coordinator Jay Gruden, Dalton came into this world with poise and confidence. It's in his DNA. Had a big game throwing against the Ravens earlier, but also did throw 3 interceptions.
Career high 373 yards in that Week 11 meeting. Give is to Benson, pressing the line, and Benson hit from the side after he picks up 4.5. Bernard Pollard getting down low to get him. Andrew Whitworth leading this offensive line. He's played at a Pro Bowl level, was not voted to Hawaii, but certainly has the respect of the other players around the National Football League. Backs and receivers for Cincinnati. A.J. Green is going to the Pro Bowl. The rookie out of Georgia, number 4 pick. He's lived up to the billing, did not play in the first meeting against Baltimore. So this is the first time the Ravens defense will get a live look at the talented Green, 6'4", 207 pounds. 3rd and 3, fake the pitch, a shovel up the middle, and a fight for it. It's going to be very close to first down yardage. Andrew Hawkins, rookie out of Toledo, hit by Pollard.
Pretty creative inside forward pass. It's going to come up just short, it appears.
So former CFL standout Andrew Hawkins trying to sneak this in on the Baltimore defense.
It's a play by Lardarius Webb, who had Hawkins in man-to-man coverage. You can see he comes up an inch short. So the Ravens pick up the first down by an inch, and the Bengals come up an inch short their first try.
Cincinnati having a discussion right now with Marvin Lewis, his team in a 7-0 hole, 11:21 to play in this opening quarter. And here comes Kevin Huber, the directional punter, now in his 3rd year. 5th-round draft pick back in 2009. 4th and inches for Cincinnati. Lardarius Webb is the return man, averaging 10 yards per return. The punt from Huber. Line drive, Webb. Sailing kick. And a fair catch called for just in front of the 20-yard line. A 48-yard punt for Huber. Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens offense back on the field with a 7-0 advantage on Cincinnati. Fountain Square in downtown Cincinnati. Baltimore with a 7-0 lead over the Bengals, and Cincinnati fans have had Bengal fever all week. They don't really like what's happened so far, with Baltimore making the early statement on offense. Ray Rice taking it the distance, 70 yards.
Well, that'll affect the crowd. It's taken the crowd out of it already, but also this wind is going to be a factor. We saw a short kickoff after the Baltimore touchdown and a long, tough catch on a punt by Lardarius Webb.
We're going to talk about that wind and how you dealt with it as a quarterback in this league. Ricky Williams getting the carry, and Williams spilled out across the 25 by Ray Malaluga. It's a 6-yard gain. What was your approach? What was your philosophy when you stepped on the field and it was gusting like this?
You have to throw a spiral in this wind. If you don't throw a spiral, it's almost like throwing a shoebox, because you got 4 squares coming at you, and the wind catches that ball and does a lot of bad things with it. So your main focus, don't lob the ball, throw a lot of fastballs, and throw a tight spiral.
Do you have any memories here specifically in
It's
Cincinnati?
all been frozen from my mind.
It's right like your hand. Williams getting the call again, and Williams just across the 30-yard line. Domata Pecco in on that stop, give him a gain of 2.5. Ricky Williams came in 19 yards away from 10,000 for his career, now in his 11th year in the league, the Heisman Trophy winner back in 1998. Now here's that double tight end set that Flacco talked about with Dixon and Pitta. Harbaugh's very high on Pitta and his upside. He believes he can be a star. 34 catches this season, 343 yards, 2 touchdowns. Flacco, the touch pass to Pitta. First down into Cincinnati territory, and he's still going. Dennis Pitta finally brought down at the 30, dragging Adam Jones with him for 39 yards on the catch and run.
Yeah, the play action really does a number on Manny Lawson. Watch Lawson shoot the gap here, but the play action and then behind him is a wide open Pitta. Catches the ball at the 42. After contact, gets hit right there, and that's another 15 yards after contact for Dennis Pitta.
The former walk-on at BYU, the longest pass play of the season for Pitta, 39 yards. And a first down now for Baltimore, in business at the Cincinnati 30. Penalty marker is down. We'll hear from Tony Correnti for the first time today.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And that's the veteran Bryant McKinney, who went to the Pro Bowl back in 2009 as a member of the Minnesota Vikings.
First mistake for the Ravens this afternoon. So far it's been a near perfect outing for their offense and defense. Play action pass to Pitta was huge for the Ravens.
Baltimore completed its first ever undefeated season at home with a 20-14 win over Cleveland last week. They've won 18 of their last 19 at M&T Bank Stadium. Ray Rice hit by Pecco, trying to pump up the crowd. It's a loss of 2 on the play.
Really easy to find Domata Pecco. All you have to do is look for hair. Jumps into the gap there and pulls Ray Rice down. He had 5 solo tackles in the last game against the Ravens. This is the type of leadership with solid play after the penalty, then a drop in the backfield for a loss, and the Bengals defense got a shot now.
His beard just seems to flow into the hair. It's all connected.
There's nothing wrong with that.
2nd and 17. Flacco set up the screen. Ray Rice has got a blocker. Rice has bottled up just short of the 30-yard line. 5-yard pickup through the air. Lots of updates today. JB Boomer Esiason in New York.
Dan Fouts will like this shootout.
Oh, he would love it. How about this? Tony Scheffler, he's going to catch a touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford. 5 TDs passes on the day for Matthew Stafford. 41 TD passes through the season. And how about this? First game in NFL history where both quarterbacks have thrown for over 400 yards and 5 TDs.
Detroit trying to secure the 5th spot with the win. Ian and Dan.
You know, Boomer, I agree with you. I think that Matthew Stafford should be in the Pro Bowl.
3rd and 12 for Baltimore. Flacco with a touch pass. It's going to be short of the first down as he hits Torrey Smith. 9 yards. They needed 12. Chris Crocker helped make sure that Torrey Smith, the talented rookie out of Maryland, didn't get to the marker. 4th down for Baltimore, and the field goal unit will come on with Billy Cundiff, Pro Bowler last year. 117 points this season for Cundiff.
Kicking into the wind, although the streamers at the top of the goalposts are laying pretty much limp.
Missed the Cleveland game last week with a calf injury. From 42 yards away, Cundiff curls it in, and Baltimore adds to its lead. It's 10-0, 6:45 to play in the first. John Harbaugh, he is pumped, looking for the number 2 seed. Week 17 in the NFL, some headlines from the early games. The Patriots do clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC with the victory over Buffalo. San Francisco is the number 2 seed in the NFC after they knock off St. Louis. Mark Sanchez struggled. 3 interceptions. Jets are eliminated, a loss to Miami. And Indianapolis will have the number 1 pick in the 2012 draft. Colts fell to Jacksonville 19-13 today. Also, Tennessee still alive. They squeezed out that win over Houston. Texans going for 2, down by 1 to avoid overtime. And Tennessee still with a chance to go to the postseason. Cundiff on the kickoff. Brandon Tate. Tate spins his way just short of the 30-yard line. Brought down by the rookie Jimmy Smith. Andy Dalton, chance to go to the playoffs in his rookie season. He's back on the field when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by GMC. Now during the GMC holiday event, trade up to the best Sierra ever and get some of the best offers of the year. And by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint.
10-0 Baltimore in front of Cincinnati. The Bengals with just their 3rd winning season in the last 21 years. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Not the case. The rookies have stepped forward. Dalton trying to avoid the rush, gets rid of it, and throws out of bounds. Terrell Suggs got in on the quarterback. As we take a look at the starting defense for Baltimore, Haloti Ngata, another tremendous season, his 3rd Pro Bowl. Linebackers, some believe Suggs could be the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's going to the Pro Bowl for the 5th time in his 9-year career. And in the secondary, Ed Reed, 8-time Pro Bowler, and is going to look to disguise things defensively and get inside the head of rookie Andy Dalton today. 2nd and 10 for Cincinnati. Give it to Benson. Little stutter step move, and not much there for Benson. Picks up 2.5, 3 yards. Benson has had a tough time holding on to the football of late. Let's go back a couple of weeks. Benson going against St. Louis. Fumbled, quickly recovered, then stripped by Quentin Michael. Benson recovered, stripped by Michael again. Ball recovered by Cincinnati. Last week against Arizona. Fumble in the 4th, recovered by Kerry Rhodes. Fumbled again with 3 minutes left. Rhodes came up with the loose football once again. 5 fumbles in the last 2 games for Benson.
And 0 fumbles in his first 13.
3rd and 7 for Cincinnati.
This is an interesting mismatch out here with Leonard and Ray Rice.
Dalton looks the other way over the middle, and he's got A.J. Green. First down to midfield. Big target, great size, physical, and can really stretch the field with his speed. That's 18 yards on the hookup.
Yeah, A.J. Green going to the Pro Bowl, working from the slot. Gets a great move to the outside and then back to the inside. Gets by Lardarius Webb. Pickup of 18 and out to midfield. That's the type of play the Bengals needed.
First rookie wide receiver to go to the Pro Bowl since Anquan Bolden was a member of the Arizona Cardinals back in 2003. Now with Baltimore. Throw it on the outside. And the veteran Donald Lee won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, getting in on the mix with a 6-yard gain on the play.
That's just his 10th catch of the season. But the Bengals feel very good about the ability of Dalton to get the ball outside to his receivers. He did throw for 373 in their first game together. Andre Caldwell had a huge game. He's out with an injury, but A.J. Green is in. He did not play in that first game.
Bringing the fullback, Chris Presley, working in front of Cedric Benson on a 2nd and 4 for Cincinnati. Give is to Benson, and he is hit right away. No gain. Arthur Jones in on that stop, the 2nd-year pro from Syracuse, and a flag thrown on the play. So the flag down at the 46-yard line. It was a late penalty marker.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 95 with a blow to the face. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's the veteran Jared Johnson called on the penalty, so Cincinnati will get bonus yards here.
Well, Jared Johnson's getting a call for right in the middle there. He punches, looks like the tight end, Jermaine Gresham. And that will draw the flag, and the Bengals say thank you very much.
Ball spotted just inside the 30-yard line. Loose set of downs for Cincinnati to work with. Dalton off the hesitation. They'll throw it up for grabs. A.J. Green out of bounds. And the wind could have played a role there. Ed Reed there defensively. J.B. and Boomer standing by in New York.
Oakland trying to get into the postseason.
And the only way they can is they have to win. Denver has to lose. They have to be the AFC Western champion. Darius Hayward-Bay, 3-yard TD reception. Early lead goes to Oakland, 7-0 over San Diego.
Speaking of early, let me get it in early. The bird and the beard.
All right, JB and Boomer. They'll be working hard throughout the afternoon, keeping you updated on what's going on around the NFL. There's the Oakland situation. Still with a chance to clinch the AFC West with a win and a Denver loss. They cannot be the wild card. Dalton, 7th play of the drive. Out of the pocket, Dalton dives. And he's down at the 27-yard line. Give him a gain of 1. Keep their mics open, JB and Boomer.
Dan Fouts, you'll love this. Go ahead, Boom.
This game is ridiculous. Matt Flynn has done something that Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre couldn't do. That throw for over 480 yards in a game and 6 touchdown passes. They take the lead 45-41. The Detroit Lions are now coming back, and Matthew Stafford's well over 500 yards passing.
40 seconds left in regulation. Ian and Dan.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that believe Flynn can be a starting quarterback in this league.
That's a pretty good audition tape, I think.
3rd and 9 for Dalton. Slings it and didn't get there. Jerome Simpson, who had one of the highlights of the year last week in the victory over Arizona with the somersault into the end zone. Now it's going to be a 46-yard field goal attempt for Cincinnati.
Terrence Cody may have affected this pass. Watch number 90. That's Pernell McPhee. McPhee, who made the big play in the first game against these two, may have affected that pass.
Mike Nugent missed field goals from 35 and 48 yards last week. This is a 46-yard attempt. Points on the board for Cincinnati. First quarter action continues. 9 plays, 43 yards for the Cincinnati Bengals. Nugent with a 46-yard field goal. Baltimore with a 10-3 lead over Cincinnati. And now Nugent will kick it off. Kicks it short to the up man for Baltimore, Edgar Jones, who did not see that one coming.
He felt it coming, though.
Jones is touched at the 23-yard line. See what makes unforgettable this season's #1 new drama. Poppy Montgomery and Dylan Walsh star Tuesday, only CBS.
I wonder if Nugent just mishit that ball because he's got the wind behind him. He had a great kickoff to open the game where Zimikowski had to just keep it in the back of the end zone.
Baltimore Ravens trying to sweep the AFC North and looking for their first division title since 2006. Flacco on a give. Ray Rice sticks his helmet down, picks up 1 yard. Frosty Rucker among those over there for Cincinnati. Ravens will be making their 8th playoff appearance since 2000, but the question is, are they going to open it up on the road and take the hard way in the postseason like they have the last few years, or will they get that #2 seed with a win here and get the bye week? Dennis Pitta lines up on the outside. Flacco. Plenty of time on a crossing route. Torrey Smith. And he veers out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 6-yard pickup, chased down by Reggie Nelson. Offensive coordinator Cam Cameron, former head coach of the Miami Dolphins. You see the numbers on the Ravens this year.
But you can also see with that type of pass play, with the two tight ends in the game, the play action pass, when it doesn't draw the linebackers up, there's really not a whole lot of options for Flacco. Dumped it down to his speedy wide receiver Smith over the middle, but way short of the first down.
Flacco so far is 5 for 5. 4 times this season, he's completed less than 50% of his passes in a game. Up in the air, and it got caught up there. Torrey Smith trying to chase it down, and he is tough to overthrow. 4th down for Baltimore.
Well, the veteran Nate Clements had the coverage that time. Actually, it was Kelly Jennings that came over there for Nate Clements, and that ball clearly thrown out of bounds by Flacco. Smart decision by Flacco, but a good defensive series for the Bengals.
Sam Cook will punt it. Brandon Tate is standing at his own 26-yard line for Cincinnati. Snapper is Morgan Cox. They went for the block on Cook. He gets rid of it. Booming kick. Tate backpedals to the 9. He's got room in front of him. And Tate is stood up at the 24-yard line. Laquan Williams, backup wide receiver, making the play on special teams. 61-yard punt for Cook, just shy of his season long. Keep your fantasy football season going with Playoff Challenge. Compete against the nation for a chance to win $5,000. Sign up now at cbssports.com/challenge.
Speaking of a challenge, I think this wind is going to be a challenge. That punt was into the wind, or so we thought. The wind seems to be swirling around this stadium, but it is very gusty.
Ball officially spotted at the 23-yard line. Bernard Scott is in the game in the backfield for Cincinnati. Scott gets the carry, runs into a wall after a 2-yard gain. McKinney combining with Lewis to bring him down. JB and Boomer, NFL Today update.
Rivers to Gates, a familiar ring.
Fouts to Winslow, what's the difference? It all ends up in a touchdown anyway. 38 yards on 3rd and 9. 7-7. Remember, Oakland has to win this game, and Denver has to lose its game in order for Oakland to get into the playoffs.
Back to Ian and Fouts.
All right, thanks, JB. And a lot of speculation as to North Turner's future with the San Diego Chargers. You know they'll come to play against the Oakland Raiders. 2nd and 8. Play fake. Dalton tried to squeeze it in. Incomplete. Jerome Simpson matched up with Cary Williams. And Williams makes the play. Missed the second half last week with a concussion. That victory over Cleveland. The Browns were battling back against Baltimore last week. Ravens had to hold on.
Well, Simpson just stood there waiting for this ball to get to him. Cary Williams did not wait. He broke on the ball quickly and got there perfect timing to break it up. But Simpson has got to keep moving, working his way back to the quarterback. That would have been an easy completion for the Bengals.
Ravens come in 2nd in the NFL in sacks this season. 47 of them. Philadelphia number 1. They have the most sacks on 3rd down. 3rd and 8, and Dalton will take a timeout. First charge timeout to Cincinnati with 45 seconds to play in this first quarter. So we have a pretty good feel for what's going on in the AFC. Let's talk a little bit about the NFC. Green Bay locked in as the number 1 seed. San Francisco now the number 2 seed. So New Orleans will drop back. The Giants and Dallas will play for the division title and the opportunity to tumultuous offseason. Carson Palmer, soap opera. Everybody just figured, well, this is going to take some time. They're going young. It didn't take that much time. This team turned some heads around the NFL when they opened up 6-2. Dalton on an out route. High throw. It's handled by Simpson. First down. Just short of the 35-yard line. Cary Williams, the corner. That's a 9-yard pass play.
Well, Jerome Simpson didn't wait on this ball. He went up and attacked it. Again, working against Cary Williams on the perimeter. Watch the 6'2", former high school high jumper, long jumper, get way up in the air and pull that down. A big conversion for the Bengals there to pick up the first down.
Also part of the track team at Coastal Carolina, so that talent carried over to the collegiate level as well. Jerome Simpson, first man down to the other side of the field, and he's ready to go for the second quarter. End of one here in Cincinnati. Baltimore on top of the Bengals as we'll have second quarter action coming up. The NFL on CBS. Start of the second quarter, Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. 10-3, Baltimore in front. Handoff, first play of the second quarter to Bernard Scott for a 2-yard gain. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts. Rest of our CBS crew, producer Bob Monsbach, director Suzanne Smith. Happy holidays, everybody. 2012 opening up with a bang. Important game between the Bengals and the Ravens for Baltimore. Chance to solidify the number 2 seed for Cincinnati. A win and they're in. Joe Flacco 5 of 6 to open up. Andy Dalton is 4 of 8. 2nd and 8 for Cincinnati. Scott remains in the game for the Bengals. Dalton working out of the gun. Sidearm toss for Scott, getting out in space. And he angles out of bounds, short of the first down by about a yard. Kerry Williams over there.
A really quick decision by Dalton. Had his tight end running a hook route on the perimeter. Gresham saw him covered and quickly got the ball out to Scott. And Scott comes up just a half a yard short of the first down.
Is that what's impressed you most about Dalton, the decision-making as a rookie?
Well, and the job that Jay Gruden has done with him with this West Coast offense, where if you have it, take it. If not, go to your outlet receiver. If you don't have that, throw the ball away, avoid the sack. And Dalton, being a smart guy with a good background from TCU, has done exactly what Jay has told him.
Extra offensive lineman. It's Dennis Rowland for Cincinnati on a 3rd and 1. They'll push the pile. It's enough for a first down. Needed a yard. They got 2. Early stages of this second quarter, Baltimore holding on to a 7-point lead on the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know, we talked earlier about, and we even showed the video of Benson fumbling, and you wonder about Marvin Lewis, because in the last couple of series, it's been all Bernard Scott, especially on that short yardage play there where Benson is so good. He had Scott in the game to pick up the first down.
Usually Bernard Scott is the change of pace running back because of his quickness and ability to get outside, but he is seeing extended action here. Dalton short drop and the quick toss to Donald Lee. So the 9-year veteran tight end is involved in the game plan. Kerry Williams with the tackle. It's a 3-yard gain for Lee.
Yeah, Lee comes into the game with just 9 catches, has 2 already in this first half. Quick 3-step drop by Andy Dalton. Hit in the back, though. That's not an illegal hit. It was between the knees and the shoulders. I guess that's the only place you can hit a quarterback these days. Arthur Jones with that hit.
2nd and 7 now for Cincinnati, just short of midfield. Dalton, another quick hitter. Gresham catches in stride, turns it upfield. Big gain for Gresham. Making Jameel McClain miss the linebacker, and Gresham shot upfield for a 25-yard pickup for Cincinnati.
Now Gresham does a couple of things on this play. He's going to release out into Suggs and then up the field and away from Jameel McClain here. Good stiff arm right there, then down the sidelines. And the Bengals are moving now, and well-executed, quick passing game by Dalton.
And the year of the tight end, every city we go to, we seem to see another big athletic player at that position that can turn it upfield and make big plays. Dalton off the play fake. Dalton looks downfield, throws underneath to Gresham. Wrestled out of bounds out near the 20-yard line. Extra gain on that play as Webb made the stop. 7-yard pickup. JB and Boomer in New York. NFL Today update.
KC would like to do its part to knock Denver out of the postseason.
All or nothing game for Denver right here. They win, they're in. They win the AFC West, but Dexter McCluster and Kyle Orton have something to say about it. 7-0 as they start the second quarter in Denver.
Ian and Dan.
Tremendous storyline there with what happened in Denver with Kyle Orton getting an opportunity against his former team. Tebow taking over for Orton, ripping off all those wins. And it comes down to week 17, the NFL could not have scripted it any better. On the delayed handoff, not a whole lot there. A gain of 1 as Scott picks it up. And again, McClain is in there along with Haloti Ngata for Baltimore. Cedric Benson has the helmet off.
Chris Presley, the fullback, in the game now. So both teams are using more traditional type of offenses today, with fullbacks for the Ravens. Obviously, Vontae Leach going to the Pro Bowl, and now the Bengals version, Chris Presley lining up.
Benson is the only player since 2004 to have over 100 yards rushing against Baltimore twice. 3rd and 1. Dalton looking for it all. Incomplete and could have been picked off. Donald Lee, the intended target. Ed Reed back there for Baltimore.
Trying to get the ball over the out linebacker, Jamil McLean. And it's a post route right here. McLean gets back into it. And Ed Reed almost came up with it, but it looked like Lee should have made that catch.
It whizzed by Reed. Reed, who has 9 career interceptions against the Bengals. 36-yard attempt for Nugent. Nugent pushed it to the right. No good. And Cincinnati has nothing to show for the long drive. Nugent can't believe that the officials didn't see it go through. Another look at it. Missed field goal by Mike Nugent. Baltimore takes over 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line of the Ravens. Baltimore has won 5 of its last 6 games to put themselves in this position. Opportunity to clinch the number 2 seed in the AFC. Give is to Ray Rice, who falls forward for a gain of 2. Reactions from that field goal. The miss from Nugent.
Well, Nugent has missed 4 of his last 7. 88% coming into today. And Harbaugh, he loves it.
Cincinnati Bengals 1-6 against teams that are better than 500 this season. 8-0 against teams less than 500. Ray Rice trying to shoot through the gap. Rice picks up 5.5 yards. Manny Lawson in on that stop for Cincinnati.
And in talking to defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, he said in the first game they just gave up big plays to the Ravens. And obviously this game has started out the exact same way. Although the Bengal defense seems to have been settling down last couple of series, but the 70-yard touchdown run by Rice and then the 39-yard catch and run by Pitta were 2 big plays that really hurt the Bengals.
First meeting, 31-24 win for Baltimore. 3 interceptions thrown by Andy Dalton. 3rd and 2 for the Ravens. Here comes the rush. Flacco flips it to the outside, and Dennis Pitta has got the catch and the first down. Manny Lawson with the stop. Let's take you back. Ravens seem to have the game in hand. Flacco to Torrey Smith. 4th quarter, they go up 31-14. Now the rally. Dalton connects with Andre Caldwell for the touchdown. Then on 4th down at the Ravens 17, Dalton was ruled down. Pernell McPhee got credit for the sack. That sealed it 31-24. Ravens. They'll move the chains here with Baltimore on a 1st and 10. Ray Rice to the 40-yard line. Give him a gain of 2 on the play. Geno Atkins defensively for Cincinnati. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, go back to that catch by Pitta. Manny Lawson had him stop short of the first down, but it was a great effort by Pitta to overpower Lawson to pick it up and keep this drive alive and keep the momentum that Flacco and Rice have created.
Ray Rice going to the Pro Bowl for the 2nd time in his career. 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Came into Week 17 leading the NFL in yards from scrimmage. 2nd and 8. Flacco uncorks a deep line over the shoulder. Attempt by Torrey Smith. Incomplete. Nate Clements, the veteran, matched up with the rookie.
Boy, at the very end of this, Nate Clements is just looking to grab anything he possibly can on Torrey Smith. Look at him. Now, that should be pass interference, but the ball thrown out of bounds, ruled by the official to be uncatchable. And Nate Clements can breathe a sigh of relief because Torrey Smith, he can blow by just about any corner in this league.
No Anquan Bolden for Baltimore. Surgery on his knee last Thursday, torn meniscus. And there were some rumors that he might actually be available this week, but not the case. Inactive, hoping to get him back for the playoffs. A timeout taken by Baltimore.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, now playing in select cities everywhere January 20th.
In this first half, 3rd and 8 for the Ravens. Flacco rifles downfield off the fingertips of Lee Evans. Evans, it's been a struggle for him this year. 2 1,000-yard seasons with the Buffalo Bills, but only 4 catches as a member of the Ravens. Kelly Jennings in coverage for Cincinnati.
Yeah, this has been a theme for the Ravens. Too many drop passes. That was a perfectly thrown the ball. Behind Kelly Jennings goes Lee Evans. The ball right on his fingertips. Can't haul it in.
Sam Cook back on for Baltimore. Brandon Tate waiting at the 15-yard line. High punt. Tate will field it at the 9. Zigzags his way to the 20. Out of bounds, just short of the 30-yard line. Good run back by Tate. 20 yards, a 50-yard punt. 7-point differential here in the second. Late afternoon turning to early evening here in Cincinnati. Baltimore 10, the Bengals 3, 7:24 to go. In the second quarter, a Baltimore win. They secure the number 2 seed in the AFC. A Cincinnati victory, and the Bengals qualified for the playoffs as the number 6 seed. Play fake. Dalton on a dump off for Benson, and Cedric Benson takes it to the 35. Ray Lewis with the stop. It's a 6-yard gain. Thought the fantasy season was over? It's not. Play NFL.com playoff challenge today. You could win a trip to Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy.
A lot of fans here saw that ball away from Benson's body, and they immediately thought fumble. Got it back in time, though.
That's got to be inside his head. Hawkins on the end around. Hawkins will be very close to a first down. Give him a gain of 3 on the play. Our Fouts focus this week, it deals with the issues Cedric Benson has had holding on to the football.
It's got to be a major concern because turnovers in these high-pressure playoff-like games will kill you. He's got to be more aware of his ball security, get the ball closer to his body, know where the defense is so it doesn't get punched out from behind. He got away with one on that last pass play.
We'll call this 3rd and 1. 4 carries for Benson for 10 yards. Benson gets the call. Benson is stacked up.
He's going to get a favorable mark, though.
Had to get just across the 39-yard line. You saw all the white jerseys converging on Cedric Benson. An excellent spot. And Tony Corrente has already indicated first down.
He's going to hit it with a lot of force. Right side there. I'll take their word for it. And there's a challenge by Harbaugh. He didn't like that spot either.
John Harbaugh will challenge the ruling on the field, which was a first down without a measurement. Another look at Cedric Benson.
Baltimore is challenging the ruling on the field of progress as related to a first down.
Tony Corrente will take a look at it. Challenge from the Baltimore Ravens.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dodge Grand Caravan, the right tool for the job. And by Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL.
Let's check out the replay as the review continues. Here's Corey Redding. He's going to beat the block of Dennis Rowland. And remember, Benson has to get past the 39-yard line. And this is the absolute toughest type of review an official can have. This will take Tony Corrente quite a while to figure this one out, because you just can't see where the ball is.
A lot of big bodies in there, including Mount Cody, Terrence Cody, 6'4", 350 pounds.
And he beat the block of Mike McGlynn, who's substitute for Bobby Williams at right guard.
Tony Corrente will fill us in.
After reviewing the play, the runner progressed to the 38 3/4 yard line. We will measure for a first down.
Well, that's not enough.
Now that'll be short. 38 3/4 is a quarter short of what he needed, I think. Yeah, they moved the chains. Now they're going to have to move them back on the far side of the field. They kept the chains where they were on the near side of the field.
Well, just at the live look, that's not going to get it. The line to make was clearly the 39. That is short of the 39-yard line.
Yeah, they've moved the ball well short of the 39, so it's a good challenge by Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh, who spent 8 years in this town as a special teams coordinator at the University of Cincinnati.
Way short.
Now what do you do?
Hey, you play the field position game. Marvin Lewis, a defensive-minded head coach, is sending his punt team out.
And the former defensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens, winning a Super Bowl after the 2000 season. Kevin Huber on. Lardarius Webb, the return man for Baltimore, and he will set up at the 15-yard line. So Harbaugh makes the right call on the challenge. It forces Cincinnati into a punt. Ravens have a 10-3 lead on the Bengals. Spiraling kick, bounces at the 11, and it dives inside the 5. Jeremy Miles getting downfield. Oh boy, they touched it.
They're saying that Miles must have crossed the goal line with part of his body when he touched that ball, trying to keep it out of the end zone. The officials are going to discuss it, though.
It's ruled a touchback. It looked like Miles was in perfect position.
Number 99 was on the goal line as he touched the football. It'll be Baltimore's ball, first down at the 20-yard line.
62-yard punt. It looks like Miles is by himself here to make this play.
Now, he's not in the end zone. But now the pile comes here, and Lawson slides across the goal line. That's an excellent call by the officials. Lawson really didn't need to do it. The ball was stopped. If he just leaves it there, the Ravens take over at the 1.
Ravens would have been pinned deep in their own territory. Instead, they've got breathing room at the 20. Ricky Williams, the veteran, gets the call for a 1-yard gain. As we ring in the new year, we celebrate another hit season and thank you for making CBS America's most watched network. Bengals continue to rotate in defensive linemen. We've seen Carlos Dunlap, Michael Johnson as well. They're both very dangerous off the edge. Dunlap was a question mark as to whether or not he was going to play with a hamstring injury. Did have a sack last week in the win over Arizona. Williams with a head of steam. Ricky Williams carrying Bengals defenders with him. It's a gain of 10, and Williams is now over 10,000 yards in his NFL career.
That's a great accomplishment for a very interesting player. What a great career Ricky Williams has had.
Well, here's what's on the line for the Baltimore Ravens. They clinch the AFC North with a victory and a first-round bye. For the Bengals, a win means a playoff spot, and there are some other combinations that could still get them into the postseason. On first down, Ray Rice runs into his own man, and McKinney tried to throw him to gain extra yardage, and Rice and McKinney trying to get on the same page.
Yeah, Rice says, hey, I don't need that type of help. If you block for me and move guys out of the way. I can make my own yardage. I don't need you grabbing me and throwing me down the field.
You know, Dan, the Rice-Williams relationship has been an interesting one. Ray Rice told us last night that Ricky Williams was his favorite running back. When he bought his first authentic NFL jersey, he bought a Ricky Williams Dolphins jersey for $250, cold hard cash. He worked at a catering hall to save the money. Flacco on a toss for Pitta. Dennis Pitta weaving through traffic and brought down to the 39-yard line after the gain of 4 by Manny Lawson for Cincinnati.
And Ray Rice still has the jersey and asked him, is it autographed? He said, oh, no, not yet. Got to get it autographed.
He said he was starstruck when he met him. He had to get over that initial part of the relationship because he grew up idolizing the player. He said he felt the same about Ray Lewis when he was drafted by the Ravens. And now that they've gotten to know each other, he said, Ricky is very cerebral, and you just want to take in all of his knowledge. 3rd and 3 for the Ravens. Coming up on 2 minutes to play, second quarter. Flacco fires a little high, a flag down. Pitta had double coverage, and the Bengals reacting. Nate Clements.
They're going to get Clements for an illegal contact,
Prior
not
to
a
the
pass
pass,
interference.
holding defense number 22. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That was on 3rd and 3 for Baltimore, so they'll convert it off the penalty on Cincinnati.
Here's Clements right here. Watch Pitta come down the field. And right about here, there's the grab. Not much of a grab, but you see the right hand around the waist of Pitta. That's another excellent call by the officials, although the fans here with the Bengals shirts on don't like it. Just a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down, but frustrating for the Bengal fans and Nate Clements.
Ravens were walking down the field as if it was pass interference. Right. They had to be reminded, 5-yard penalty. Line of scrimmage is now the 44 of Baltimore. 2:17 left to play in this first half. Movement. Michael Orr on the right side.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
So back it up for the Ravens. Coming up, Sprint Halftime Report, JB and Company, latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
This has been a well-played game, a real defensive struggle. That's just the 3rd penalty of the afternoon against Baltimore. We saw the Bengals' first penalty on the play previous to that.
Baltimore
yardage, and of course, came on that long 70-yarder by Ray Rice.
Ravens, the number 15 offense in the NFL, averaging 338 yards per game. Handoff to Ray Rice. Baltimore has been limited in the passing game, but they have established the run because of Rice, but it was basically on the one rip that you mentioned. 1-yard gain. Frosty Rucker in on that stop for Cincinnati. We've hit the 2-minute warning. 10-3, Ravens in front. Chance for 3 teams to go to the playoffs out of the AFC North if Cincinnati gets the win here. 2nd and 14. Flacco over the middle. Catch made by Ed Dixon. He holds on to the football, and 2 flags come down after the smack. He got stamped. Chris Crocker and Reggie Nelson, 20-yard pickup through the air.
Yeah, great catch by Ed Dixon. Had a couple of drops on similar type of passes this season. But they're going to get Nelson, I believe, for a helmet-to-helmet hit here on a defenseless receiver.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 20. Contact with the head of the receiver. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Flacco's going to have a lot of time to throw. They're going to keep Pitta in here to help out on the pass blocking. And that allows a clear throwing lane for. And actually, that is not an illegal shot there. It was not helmet to helmet. It's right underneath the helmet, the shoulder pads. But a tough call by the officials, and a great catch by Ed Dixon.
On first down to Ray Rice. Rice gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard on the spot. Carlos Dunlap making the play on the diminutive running back, Ray Rice.
And we saw Ed Dixon on the sidelines being checked out. And if he can't go, that really affects the game plan for Cam Cameron and the Ravens, because they wanted to use a lot of the two tight end formation. We see Lee Evans in the game now. So with Dixon out, more conventional style of offensive sets now for Flacco.
They do have the veteran Chris Wilson now in his 8th year, formerly with Kansas City and San Diego, a second-round pick in 04. 2nd and 9, Flacco. He tried to lead Ricky Williams, incomplete. And a penalty marker is thrown in the defensive backfield at the 7-yard line. This was pretty clean throughout most of the day. Now the penalty's taken up.
Defense, number 58. 5-yard penalty, carries an automatic.
I gave the announcer curse. Talked about how well this game had been played. The Bengals now with 3 penalties on this drive.
Ray Malaluga called on that penalty. First down just inside the Cincinnati 20. We have 1:06 to play, second quarter. Leach goes in motion. Handoff for Rice. Following Leach, Rice squeezes through a tight hole and picks up 7 yards in the process.
Let's go back to the illegal contact on Ray Malaluga. Malaluga's lined up right here. That's already 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, so he cannot go any farther to hit a receiver.
2nd and 3. Rice dances his way to the 10-yard line for a 2-yard pickup. Dunlap with another tackle for Cincinnati. We're down to 33 seconds to play. Baltimore has just 1 timeout to work with.
And this is where Flacco's been real good this year. 10 touchdown passes, no interceptions in the red zone.
Flacco. He's got enough for the first down. And they'll use the final timeout with 19 seconds to play. Baltimore with a 7-point lead on Cincinnati and a chance to get some more before the break. Coming up, Sprint Halftime Report. JB, the rest of the crew, NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. First and goal for Baltimore at the 9, Dan.
In fact, the Ravens haven't turned the ball over at all in the red zone this year. But a touchdown here would really go a long way in this ball game. And conversely, for the Bengals to limit the Ravens to just a field goal, remember, they deferred. They will get the opening kick to start the second half.
32nd all-time meeting between these two teams. Baltimore is 17-14 against Cincinnati, but they have lost 5 of their last 6 here at Paul Brown Stadium. They've got a 10-3 lead with the ball. 9-yard line of the Bengals, 11th play of the drive. First and goal, 19 seconds to play in this first half. Operating out of the gun. Flacco steps, fires back in the end zone. It's caught by Pitta. Touchdown, Ravens. Joe Flacco. Perfectly thrown ball to Dennis Pitta.
And there's a flag down on the other side of the field.
Offside. Defense number 94 in the neutral zone at the snap. This penalty will be declined. The result of the play, touchdown.
Baltimore extends the lead. Joe Flacco put it exactly where it had to be for his playmaking tight end, Pitta.
3rd touchdown catch of the year. He's out split wide. Dixon is back in the game as a tight end over the middle, but watch this catch in the corner of the end zone. Both feet in. Spectacular catch and great control of the ball throughout the catch for Pitta.
Dennis Pitta, second year from BYU, Moore Park, California. Billy Cundiff, the extra point, capping off an 11-play, 80-yard drive. Not only quieting this crowd initially, but now the crowd reacting with boos.
And Ian, if you go back to the punt, that could have been down at the 1-yard line by the Bengals. But Lawson, for some reason, thought he had to dive on the ball with his momentum, carried the ball into the end zone, and the Ravens took advantage of that and a couple of mistakes, penalties against the Bengals.
You talk about game changers, Dan. Early in this game, Vontae Leach gets the extra inch that he needed for a first down. The next play, Ray Rice goes 70 for the touchdown. And you just mentioned the other one with the ball so close to being down by Miles, and now Lawson comes in. The ball was settled there. It did not look like the ball was going to move from the 1 yard line, and his elbow touches the goal line for the touchback.
Just a hustle play by Manny Lawson, but one that he may regret. With Baltimore taking advantage of every break in this game so far.
You know, it's interesting. Cincinnati came across as a confident team leading into this game, and the feeling that the Bengals are very familiar with the Ravens, that Marvin Lewis knows the team. You talked to John Harbaugh, and he kind of gave us this look at the end of our meeting last night. Hey, they don't know the Ravens when something is really at stake. In a playoff-like scenario, they don't know us in that way.
And they have played a near perfect first half, both sides of the ball.
Touchback. It'll be out to the 20-yard line. John Harbaugh, he said that we have one game to win the division. It comes down to one game. That's something that the team has worked very hard for. We asked him, will the Pittsburgh game and the score have any bearing on what you do? Because a Pittsburgh loss, Baltimore would automatically have the 2 seed. He said, we're not even paying attention to it. It's irrelevant.
And the amazing thing is you've got guys like Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs who've never won a Super Bowl. That is on their mind. They are the leaders, along with Ray Lewis, of this defense.
End of the first half. Baltimore in front, 17-3. Sprint halftime report coming up. Baltimore Ravens have looked playoff ready. Touchdown run from Rice, then Flacco to Pitta. Baltimore looking sharp. Missed chances here for Cincinnati, including a missed field goal for Mike Nugent. And the Baltimore Ravens up on the Bengals 17-3 as we get you ready for second half action here at Paul Brown Stadium. Right now, let's take a look at the Droid Razor play presented by Motorola.
A 70-yard run by Ray Rice. Great blocking. Marshall Yanda on Ray Malaluga. Then Vontae Beach with a kick-out block. Ed Dixon gets down the field on Manny Lawson. And Ray Rice is untouched for 70 yards on just the fourth play of the game for the Ravens. Great start for the Ravens. They played a near-perfect first half.
Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. One team has looked like a playoff team, the Baltimore Ravens. Another team has looked like a young squad, the Cincinnati Bengals, still maturing, still growing.
But the Bengals, you cannot give up on them. This is the way they played most of the year. They've had a lot of comeback wins led by their rookie quarterback, Andy Dalton. They're going to get the kickoff to start the second half. They have to go down and get points on this opening drive of the second half, or their chances of getting into the playoffs are going to become very, very slim.
Now, there's still a chance for them to get in depending upon what happens with Oakland and Denver, but they know the simplest way is to win, and they're part of the postseason. Brandon Tate trying to bust it out to the clear, but he gets brought down at the 30-yard line by Haruki Nakamura on special teams. First half numbers, 220 total yards for Baltimore. Cincinnati held to 104.
The pass protection has been perfect for both quarterbacks. Flacco, 9 of 12 for 101 yards. Dalton, 9 of 14 for 85. Neither of them have been knocked down yet in this game, and that's going to be key for Dalton and the Bengals. Keep him upright, let him operate, get the ball out to his wide receivers.
Cincinnati opens up first and 10 at its own 30-yard line. Fake the handoff to Benson. Dalton pump. Dalton looking downfield, trying to throw into a tight window. A.J. Green, it's knocked away by the safety, Bernard Pollard. A.J. Green with just one catch for 18 yards in the first half. Leading pass receivers for the Bengals, Gresham and Lee with 2, both tight ends. Great effort here by Pollard as he lays out with a left hand to knock it away from A.J. Green. Bengals ranked 24th on offense, just under 319 yards per game. They average just under 22 points per game. That's 18 in the NFL. Dalton flushed out of the pocket, throwing on the move. Good hands there by Jerome Simpson, but a modest gain, just 2 yards. It'll be third and long. Jimmy Smith over there defensively for Baltimore. Now, you talked about their missed opportunities in the first half. The one field goal and then
Not a lot of possessions, been a real defensive battle. Ravens, of course, that's the type of game that they specialize in.
Andy Dalton thought they would have an advantage out on the perimeter on the outside. They had a bunch of big plays in the last meeting. Working outside the numbers. Empty backfield on a 3rd and 8. From the gun. Dalton, pump and throw. Out route. Incomplete. Carey Williams. A.J. Green, the intended target. It's 4th down for Cincinnati.
And Dalton just didn't get this ball out in front far enough for his receiver, as Williams will be able to come in with the left hand, but you see A.J. Green almost had to stop entirely. If Dalton leads him all the way to the sidelines, he'll get that completion.
Kevin Huber punting. Lardarius Webb standing at the 23-yard line for Baltimore. Low punt. Webb ranges over. It's out of bounds. And Webb doesn't even get an opportunity to touch it. Ball is out at the 28. That's where Baltimore will take over after the 39-yard punt and a 14-point lead. Not too cold here in Cincinnati, but it is windy. No strings. That was all Mother Nature. 1st and 10 for Baltimore at the 29-yard line. Give is to Ray Rice. Bengals thought they had him stacked up, but Rice keeps the legs churning and picks up 5.5 yards. Ray Malaluga with the tackle.
You like cliches, don't you? It's a game of inches, isn't it? Vontae Leach converting on 3rd down. Mike Nugent missing by inches wide right from 36 yards out. Then a good challenge by Harbaugh as Benson comes up short. And how about Manny Lawson's right elbow? Touching the line. Getting the ball out to the 20 instead of inside the 1-yard line. And the Ravens convert with the end of the first half touchdown to Pitta.
And that Leach run was on the first possession of the day. He gets the first down. The next play, Ray Rice goes for 70 yards in the touchdown. Rice is over 100 on the day, 101, and he can add to it like a bowling ball to the 39-yard line. He picks up 5 yards. Ed Dixon with a block to clear out some space. A look at Baltimore's first half possessions.
Yeah, real good start to the first half, and a real good ending to the first half for the Ravens.
New set of downs for Baltimore. It was enough for a first down.
And they are in their Ray Rice mode right now. 2 carries to start this drive. First down for Ray Rice.
Ray Rice right on the brink of cracking 2,000 yards from scrimmage this season. Stutter step move by Rice up the middle. Give him a gain of 2. Malaluga, along with a bunch of other Bengals defenders, making the stop.
Yeah, 15 carries for 108 yards. Of course, that 70-yarder helps out the average quite a bit.
Rice saying that in the first team meeting after the lockout ended, the first goal that everybody talked about, go win the division. They're in that position here in Week 17. That's what the focus has been. And the disappointment, would be tangible if they sweep Pittsburgh and still don't get the number 2 seed in the AFC. Rice has brought down Fanene. Geno Atkins, the Bengals defensive line, completely ready for Ray Rice, and maybe a half yard on the spot.
Now this is a proud Bengal defense led by Mike Zimmer. Only 96 yards per game on the ground given up coming into today's game. Of course, the Ravens have exceeded that, but a lot of game left to play. Crucial 3rd down now for the Bengal defense.
Baltimore 10-0 this season when they lead at halftime. They've got a 17-3 lead here early stages of the 3rd quarter, and a 3rd and 7 for the Ravens. Flacco floats one out for Pitta, and he doesn't have enough for the first down. The linebacker Thomas Howard drew the assignment. They pick up 5 yards. They needed more, and Howard with a good tackle on the tight end Pitta.
He's a triple-digit tackler. Leads the team in tackles, and that one couldn't have been more perfect. Pitta makes the catch. Next thing that hits is the back of his head, thanks to Thomas Howard.
Sam Cook to punt it. Brandon Tate, the return man for Cincinnati. Baltimore last week did give up an 84-yard punt return for a touchdown by Josh Krebs. Ball bounces and then settles in at the 28-yard line. Flag is thrown back at the 36. where the ball was punted. Cincinnati felt it hit.
They're going to get Brandon Johnson for running into the
There is
kicker.
no foul for running into the kicker as the ball was tipped in the air.
Ball was
There will
tipped,
be
so there's no penalty.
Sam Cook comes up limping a bit. Tough to see any tip there as Scuda came in.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by the redesigned 8-passenger Honda Pilot, the SUV made better.
Back here in Cincinnati, Baltimore 17, the Bengals 3. Bengals have had 7 drives today. All have started between their own 20 and 30-yard line. First down run for Cedric Benson. Slammed down by Brandon McKinney of Baltimore.
We talked about it being a game of inches. Watch the left hand right here of Brandon Johnson, and then watch his fingers just tip that ball. Scuda will come in and make contact with Cook, but because of that tip by Johnson, no penalty.
Boy, that was a graze, and it did save the penalty on the contact with the punter. Scuda and Johnson getting excellent penetration. 2nd and 8 now for Cincinnati. Bengals have 22 rushing yards on a pass for Green, creating after the catch. A.J. Green has enough for the first down to the 40-yard line. 9-yard pickup on the catch and run. Some of the scores around the NFL today, important ones. The Jets fall to Miami. That helped Cincinnati in the Bengals bid for a postseason spot. Tennessee holds on for the win over Houston. Kansas City and Denver in a tight one. San Diego leading Oakland at halftime. And there is Cleveland on top of Pittsburgh. The Steelers need a win to stay alive for the number 2 seed. They lose the tiebreak to Baltimore. Throw to Gresham, the tight end, and a flag down on the play. 5 yards on the catch to the 45. Lewis and Webb defensively for Baltimore.
This is offensive pass interference. Illegal pick. That's how Gresham got open on the play.
pass interference, offense number 84. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Gresham clearing it out for the receiver coming underneath. Jared Johnson with the coverage. Watch Gresham come down here on Johnson. And then right. Well, I tell you what, that's not pass interference. That's the receiver just trying to get open.
4 penalties against Cincinnati, costing the Bengals 35 yards in a 1st and 20. Shotgun formation for Dalton. Knocked up in the air off the helmet. Incomplete. Ray Lewis. It went skyward. And that was a free ball. Haloti Ngata trying to come down with it. Incomplete.
Well, the ball originally is deflected by Suggs. Watch Suggs right in the middle here. He's going to get his shoulder on this ball. And now, boink, off of Ray Lewis's hat. Now watch Haloti Ngata come in and lay out and try to make that interception. 3 All-Pros combining on that incomplete.
Baltimore defense is number 3 in the NFL. Excellent camera work by our crew. Dalton throws, almost intercepted. Bernard Pollard. Jerome Simpson took a smack.
Pollard, that ball hit him right dead in the chest. Ball overthrown by Dalton to Simpson on the in route. Watch 31 break on this ball. And that just hit him right in the chest. And then Simpson does a good job of making sure Pollard doesn't make the catch.
This crowd has been taken out of it here at Paul Brown Stadium. Even the pacing of the Cincinnati offense is off. 3rd and 20 for the Bengals. Out of the gun. Dalton fires. Didn't get there. Contact was made. A.J. Green with Kerry Williams and a flag thrown.
But that's not where the fans want the flag to be thrown. They want it pass interference down the field. This flag is at the line of scrimmage. Perhaps someone in the neutral zone.
Illegal formation offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
Well, nothing is working right now for Cincinnati on this side of the ball.
I think Kerry Williams is going to get away with one here as he comes right over the top before the ball gets there. But again, the receiver just kind of sitting there waiting on the ball, not coming back to it.
Another punt for Kevin Huber. Webb at the 30-yard line of Baltimore. 8:11 to play in the third. Takes a Cincinnati bounce. Webb is going to try to field it. Webb now circling and turns it upfield to make something out of what could have been a disaster for Baltimore. Dan Skuta on special teams getting downfield. A 69-yard punt. Webb was confused for a moment and fortunate that he was able to regather. Baltimore doing an excellent job against the rookie quarterback Andy Dalton, holding him in check. 11 of 21, 95 yards. Ravens get the football back with a 1st and 10. And a handoff to Ricky Williams, who earlier today went over 10,000 yards in his 11th-year NFL career. That's a 5-yard gain for Williams. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS turns on the playoffs, an AFC wildcard matchup. The times still to be determined. It all starts with JB and Company special playoff edition of the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS. Williams remains in there on 2nd and 5 for the Ravens. 137 rushing yards for Baltimore. Williams, little shake and bake move to the outside and a flag thrown. Four-yard gain will be negated.
Offense number 74. This penalty against us after this was still a goal. Repeat, 2nd down.
So they're going to get Bryant McKinney. Now here's Michael Orr. And he's going to reach out and just pull on that jersey of Dunlap's. And the fans giving the officials the Bronx cheer. Finally, a penalty against the Ravens.
Fans trying to play a role here. Critical stage of this game. Cincinnati has Baltimore pinned deep in its own territory on a 2nd and 14. A 14-point lead for the Ravens. Williams is tripped. He was trying to hit that hole, but Malaluga helped make sure he didn't get there. A 2-yard gain for Ricky Williams.
This is where the Ravens have got to be concerned with ball security here. A 3rd down situation. The Bengals bring in their pass rush specialist. Of their 44 sacks this season, 33.5 of them have come from their defensive line. That means they can rush 4 and drop 7 and increase their chances of picking off Joe Flacco.
Third and 12 for Baltimore. Rush coming. Flacco gets rid of it. It's Pitta. Brought down across the 10-yard line, well short of a 1st down. Nate Clements making that play for Cincinnati.
And that's where that penalty against Orr really hurts the Ravens, because the Bengals, with all that yardage to pick up for the Ravens, they could just drop back into a zone, rush their 4, put pressure on Flacco, and have him go to the outlet receiver Pitta and stop him way short.
Sam Cook standing in his own end zone. Brandon Tate at the 44-yard line of Cincinnati. Tate has it lined up perfectly. Tate to the outside and just crosses into Baltimore territory across the 50-yard line. Cincinnati in a 14-point hole. Third quarter action continues.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Droid Razor by Motorola. Droid strong, razor sharp. And by Acura. Acura Advance.
By far best field position of the day for Cincinnati. A 1st and 10 and a quick toss to Simpson on first down. Simpson, 10-yard gain, and they'll move the chains for the Bengals. Tomorrow, ringing the new year with America's best night of comedy. Catch new episodes of How I Met Your Mother, 2 Broke Girls, 2.5 Men, and Mike and Molly. Only CBS. Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens enter action at 11-4. The Bengals 9-6. Baltimore with a win clinches the number 2 seed. A win for Cincinnati, and they're in the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. On a handoff, Bernard Scott up the gut for 3.
That's 14 rushes today for the Bengals for just 25 yards. That's not going to get it done, but I did like that first down pass. A real quick sideline route out to Simpson, picks up the first down with it, but Dalton is doing a lot better when he gets the ball out of his hands quicker. Doesn't have to wait for his receivers to get open farther down the field.
Cincinnati has played in a lot of close games. Only 2 of their 15 games have been decided by more than 10 points. Blowout win over Seattle, blowout loss to Pittsburgh. 2nd and 7 now for the Bengals. Dalton from the gun, throws over the middle, and he had Scott.
Not only did he have Scott, he had Scott for 6. Scott coming out of the backfield on a post route. Here he is right here, right down the middle. Ravens coming with the blitz from the blind side. Great move by Scott to get around Ray Lewis. Ball thrown just maybe a little bit too soon by Dalton, but Dalton had pressure coming.
So now 3rd and 7 for Cincinnati. Brian Leonard is in. Dalton connects with Simpson. And he's got a first down. 10-yard gain. They'll mark him down at the 25-yard line. The Bengals are on the move here in the late stages of the 3rd quarter.
Well, Dalton's starting to heat up a little bit. He's been on target his last couple of passes, but he had a rough first half. Ball gets away from him here on the long pass to A.J. Green, and then a tip ball as he's trying to get rid of it in the pocket, and then overthrowing his tight end, Donald Lee, for a potential touchdown.
First down, running play for Bernard Scott. Turns the corner. Scott is gone. Touchdown, Bengals. 25 yards. And boy, did Cincinnati need that.
Broke the tackle of Ed Reed. Great determination. Reed comes over from his safety spot and had an angle on Bernard Scott, but I think Scott's speed surprised him. Watch Reed down here as Scott comes all the way to the outside. Talk about determined run here. It's a move on Ray Lewis and breaks the arm tackle of Ed Reed. Ed Reed playing with a sore shoulder, couldn't make the tackle.
Longest run of the season for Bernard Scott in his 3rd year from Abilene Christian. Nugent the extra point. Bengals are right back in it. Bernard Scott, 25 yards for the score. Bernard Scott and Cedric Benson have had the same number of carries, 6 apiece. But it's Scott who takes it into the end zone for the Cincinnati score. Mike Nugent with the touchback. Baltimore will have it at the 20-yard line.
A real key block by tight end Jermaine Gresham as Suggs starts to shoot the gap here. Watch the block. He pushes him all the way down inside. That gives Scott the corner. A.J. Green out in front with a block on Williams, and then too much speed by Bernard Scott as he outruns Pollard to the corner of the end zone. But again, Ed Reed playing with a sore right shoulder, just did not have enough strength in that shoulder to make that tackle.
7-point game with 3:26 to play in the third. Simultaneously, Pittsburgh scored against Cleveland to take a 13-6 lead. Low throw. Torrey Smith handles it, but nothing there. Manny Lawson ranging over to make the play for Cincinnati. The Ravens with a win will clinch the AFC North in a first-round bye. Cincinnati, if they get the victory, they secure the wild card spot. Flacco is 12 of 15, 107 yards, and the touchdown to Pitta. 2nd and 10 for Baltimore. Ray Rice running into a crowd for 4. JB and Boomer standing by with an NFL Today update.
Rashard Mendenhall's replacement.
That's Isaac Redman. You know, in the AFC North, they know how to play defense, Dan Fouts. That's the first touchdown of this game, 13-6. Pittsburgh takes the lead late in the third quarter.
Coward likes a purist type game. Back to Ian and Dan.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to keep the pressure on the Baltimore Ravens here. The Steelers would need a win and a Baltimore loss to get the number 2 seed.
Ravens
Clock
gonna
is
have to
winding
call
down.
timeout. Yep. Confusion in the Ravens backfield in their huddle. And Flacco calls timeout. And in a one-score game, boy, that is so critical. Saving your timeouts. Yeah, the amazing thing about the timeout, Ian, you can go to the sideline.
Flacco remains in the huddle, and Cam Cameron will reel out the next play. Baltimore getting the sweep over Pittsburgh. Flacco to Anquan Bolden back in week 1. Just a minute 32 into the game. Ravens defense forced 7 Steeler turnovers, 35-7 Baltimore. Then week 9 at Pittsburgh. Flacco to Torrey Smith, game-winning touchdown. 8 seconds left. The Ravens a 23-20 win over Pittsburgh. That's why they have the tiebreak over the Steelers. Both teams are 11-4. Baltimore looking to go undefeated in the AFC North this season. 3rd and 6. 5 receiver set. Flacco out of the gun. In trouble. Flacco is dumped. Carlos Dunlap, the first man there for Cincinnati. And things are beginning to turn here at Paul Brown Stadium.
Dunlap got a lot of help. Geno Atkins as well. Here's Dunlap on the outside. Number 2 pick from last year is going to beat Michael Orr, but there is Atkins right in his face as well. And just a huge sack, first of the afternoon for either quarterback.
And this crowd is in a frenzy. Sam Cook to punt it. Low kick. And it rolls out just across the 40-yard line. It angled out of bounds right at the 40, a 40-yard punt. JB and Boomer, another update in New York.
Look at what Fouts' old team is doing.
I'll tell you what, Ian, Bengal fans and Bronco fans will be happy with the Chargers right now. That's Vincent Jackson, 3rd touchdown pass of the day for Phillip Rivers, 31-16. If Oakland loses, Cincinnati and Denver go in no matter what they do today.
That they are, Ian and Dan.
All right, guys, we will continue to keep our eyes open on what's happening around the NFL. Cincinnati is not focused on anybody else except themselves, and a chance to win this game and earn a trip into the postseason. Cedric Benson getting the call, a 2-yard gain. Terrell Suggs with a tackle for the Ravens.
That's why it's so important what the NFL did. Divisional rivals at the end of the season. All divisional games, and look at what it's doing to the playoff picture. Changing by the minute.
We are down to 1 minute to play in this third quarter. Baltimore Ravens have won 5 straight season finales. And a win here would give them 12 wins on the season in the AFC North crown. 2nd and 8. Dalton, a flip over the middle. Caught by Benson. Bottled up just across the 45-yard line by Ray Lewis. He can still move north and south. It's the east and west part that's a little tougher for Ray now in his 16th year in the NFL.
That was a dangerous looking pass too. Just a little lob over the middle to Cedric Benson by Dalton, but it was caught, and it brings up a very manageable third down as the ball continues to just roll around here. They're going to have to put an anchor on that thing with all this wind.
Final seconds of the third quarter. 3rd and 4 for Cincinnati. Dalton connects over the middle. Andrew Hawkins, first down, Bengals. Nice grab by the rookie. 6 yards. End of 3 in Cincinnati. Baltimore with a 17-10 lead over the Bengals. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Divisional matchup wrapping up the 2011 NFL season. AFC North, Baltimore and Cincinnati, the Ravens 17, the Bengals 10. As we start playing the fourth quarter, Cincinnati has it in Baltimore territory with a 1st and 10. Give it to Cedric Benson, breaks a tackle, and Benson brought down at the 42. Good block there by Nate Livings on the left side. And give him a gain of 6.5 on the play.
And give Andrew Whitworth a lot of credit, too. He's been battling with Terrell Suggs a lot this afternoon. Whitworth, the huge left tackle, has kept Andy Dalton standing up. No pressure, no sacks for Suggs. He did have a pass deflected, though, in the last series.
6th offensive lineman is on the field. Dennis Rowland for the Bengals. So go with a jumbo package. Stutter step move. Benson brought down inside the 40 after he picks up 3 yards. Ray Lewis right in the middle of it for Baltimore.
Well, that was a violent little play, wasn't it? All those big bodies in there, and Benson slamming it in hard on that right side. And meeting number 52.
Bengals trying to get to the playoffs. They have not won a playoff game since January of 1991. And our colleague Boomer Esiason. We have video. We can use it at any point if we want.
Well, that's a good timeout right now.
Timeout Cincinnati just underway in the fourth quarter at Paul Brown Stadium in a 7-point game. 17-10 Baltimore. I'm very concerned about that person on the left. There might be something seriously wrong.
Halloween was over.
3rd and 1 for Cincinnati. Benson in the backfield. Brian Whalen, the motion man. Benson's got a hole. Cedric Benson, first down. Tackled at the 28. Dennis Rowland with a good block. That's an 11-yard gain. By far the best run of the day for Benson, who is over 1,000 yards 3 consecutive years.
You know, there's nothing like being benched to motivate a player. And what we're seeing now with Benson, the last 3 or 4 carries, is a highly motivated player, especially when your backup goes for a touchdown on the previous possession. Benson running hard, protecting the ball, and getting a lot of yardage on that play, a 3rd and short.
10 carries, 35 yards for Benson. The drive continues for Cincinnati. A double tight end set. Gresham and Lee. Dalton steps up, avoids the rush. Dalton on the move and goes out of bounds. Corey Redding provided the pressure initially on Andy Dalton, who was able to sidestep him. Redding missed the game last week with a right ankle injury. Questions as to whether or not he would play this week. And it's 2nd and 10 now for the Bengals.
That was a good decision by Dalton. He waited to the last instant to stretch that play all the way out to the outside as Corey Redding laps it off on the sidelines. But a mature decision by Dalton.
Cincinnati has finally found a rhythm on offense. 2nd and 10, down by 7. Dalton, nobody home. Jerome Simpson kept going downfield. I think Dalton felt he was going to stop on an out route.
Well, this is a classic miscommunication. Dalton with the throw, and now he wanted Simpson to cut his route out to the outside where he threw the ball. One cardinal sin for all receivers is you cannot fool the quarterback. It's not going to be the quarterback's fault 9 times out of 10.
3rd and 10 now for Cincinnati. Play clock down to 2. Dalton steps. pump and throw. Dalton broken up. Trying to hit Brian Leonard. The throw was offline. And the Ravens with Ray Lewis getting over there in a hurry.
So now Nugent will come on to try a field goal, same direction that he missed earlier in the ball game. And the wind, it seems to be picking up. This will be a long field goal into this wind.
He missed from 36 yards. Dan, this is 10 yards longer.
And he missed wide right by inches. He's got the ball right in the middle of the hash marks.
He's had a good season. He's had a rough couple of weeks. 46-yard attempt trying to cut into this Baltimore lead. Mike Nugent knocks it through for Cincinnati. 17-13, 12:35 remaining here in the fourth.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by CVS. CVS Pharmacy accepts Express Scripts and over 5,000 other insurance plans. Verizon, the exclusive carrier of the Galaxy Nexus by Samsung. And by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at JaguarUSA.com.
A look at the Roebling Bridge here in downtown Cincinnati. It's turned into a beautiful night in the Queen City. Bengals on the comeback trail, 17-13, Baltimore in front. Nugent kicks off. Lardarius Webb is deep for the Ravens. Webb out across the 20-yard line. Brought down by Vincent Ray on special teams. Joe Flacco and the Baltimore offense in front. Baltimore Ravens 3-4 on the road this season. Losses at Tennessee, Jacksonville, Seattle, and San Diego. They lead 17-13 here. Flacco, the throw to Torrey Smith on the outside in a matchup with Adam Jones. That's 13 yards and a first down for the Ravens, and Smith is limping a bit heading back to the Baltimore huddle. Torrey Smith lit up Cincinnati in the first meeting. 6 catches, 165 yards and a touchdown. But remember, he had Anquan Bolden on the other side drawing a lot of attention from Cincinnati. No Bolden here. Smith stays in there, 1st and 10. Just short of the 35. Flacco. Pocket holds up. Short toss to Ray Rice covering 3 yards. Thomas Howard with a tackle for the Bengals.
That's just Rice's second catch of the ball game. Came in as the Ravens' leading pass receiver. Flacco now getting hot. 8 straight completions.
Did you think Baltimore was a bit conservative last couple of possessions?
Well, yeah, I mean, they had 3 possessions where they gained a total of 9 yards, just ran 11 plays. And they had bad field position. That may have led to their conservative calls.
To the ground game, Rice is wrestled down at the 40-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup. Lawson there defensively as he and Rice exchange some pleasantries. And now Cam Cameron, offensive coordinator for Baltimore. A big play here on a 3rd and 4 for this Ravens offense.
4 out of 10 converting 3rd downs for Baltimore. This is when the crowd will get involved, make it difficult to get the signals called by Flacco.
Lee Evans is in, along with Torrey Smith, who will work out of the slot. Ed Dixon and Dennis Pitta. 3rd and 4. Here comes the rush. Flacco throws. Incomplete. Trying to hit Pitta over the middle.
And a great job by Kelly Jennings reading that slant route by Pitta. If this ball isn't thrown over both of their heads, it's picked off by Jennings, and he might score with the interception. A great reaction by Jennings. Left side of the screen. Watch him jump that route, and the ball off target. Well, that's an easy pick for Jennings.
Sam Cook, his 6th punt of the afternoon. Brandon Tate returning for Cincinnati. Tate, no fair catch called for. Tate is gang tackled at the 19-yard line.
Watch Jennings read that slant route by Pitta and prevent the Ravens from picking up a crucial 3rd down.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Start the year right at Subway with a fresh twist on turkey. Subway, eat fresh. And by Contraband, starring Mark Wahlberg and Kate Beckinsale. In theaters January 13th.
Andy Dalton throwing on first down. He connects with his tight end, Jermaine Gresham. 7.5-yard gain. Chris Carr there defensively. Here are the scores that pertain to this one. Kansas City and Denver. Denver fighting it out for the AFC West crown. Oakland in a similar situation against San Diego. And Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. And Oakland lost against San Diego. And Cincinnati is going to get into the playoffs. Cedric Benson gets the carry and very close to a first down. It looks like where they spotted it should be enough, as Haloti Ngata is in there defensively for Baltimore. Now, the pressure on the Ravens, if Pittsburgh holds on against Cleveland, is they need to win the game to get the number 2 seed. And everything they've worked for this season coming down to week 17, trying to get home field advantage in the divisional round. Cincinnati has been a strong team in the second half, outscoring their opponents 199 to 133. Also a big key for Baltimore, getting the week off. New set of downs for Cincinnati. Dalton on the move. Andy Dalton. First down run for Dalton, out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 13 yards on the scramble. Bernard Pollard giving chase.
Now this is a broken play the whole way. Dalton comes back and fakes to Benson, who went the other way. Bernard Pollard trying to chase down Dalton. Dalton showing real good wheels, getting out of bounds and picking up 13 yards. And again, good field position for the Bengals as their offense starting to build some momentum against the Raven defense.
1 year ago to the day, Andy Dalton was playing in the Rose Bowl as TCU knocked off Wisconsin. He likes New Year's Day games. Handoff. Benson. Benson through the hole and spun down into Baltimore territory across the 45. Donald Lee with a block, and it's a 12-yard gain for the veteran Benson.
Jameel McClain slow getting up. Watch Benson get through this hole on the left side. Whitworth with a good kick-out block. And then Benson just running very determinedly as Williams has to fight off that stiff arm, but McClain having all kinds of trouble just getting off this turf. Fans don't like it. They think that this is slowing down the Bengals offense, which it is.
And his backup, Donnell Ellerbe, is inactive because of a concussion. So the training staff, medical staff of Baltimore comes over for Jameel McClain, fourth-year linebacker out of Syracuse. Albert McClellan would then step in for him.
Here is McClain. That's Ray Lewis. And here is McClain coming. He's going to look like he caught the heel of Benson right in the jaw as his helmet comes flying off. Benson with a good stiff arm there, and his left heel caught McClain right in the face mask, or in the face. McClain gets up limping, though. That shows you the effect of that type of hit.
McClain, versatile linebacker. So McClain to the sideline. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Benson getting stronger as the game goes on, and he picks up 2 yards. Ray Lewis, the stop for the Ravens. Tonight on 60 Minutes, an investigation into the SAT cheating scandal. And Laura Logan's skyscraping report on a climber who doesn't use ropes. 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS.
Got to give this offensive line of the Bengals a lot of credit. Now over 100 yards rushing for the Bengals, and a lot of pass protection for Dalton. Still no sacks.
2nd and 8. We've got 7:25 to play. Baltimore up 17-13. Gresham with a catch. Loose football. Bernard Pollard over there for Baltimore.
Looked like Suggs punched it out from behind.
Pollard's got it. and the Ravens take over at the 40-yard line.
Great effort by Terrell Suggs coming from the opposite side of the field to chase down Gresham from behind. Watch Suggs right here. Gresham decides to cut back to the middle. The left hand there of Suggs knocks the ball loose, and Pollard will come in for the recovery. That's why there's a lot of conversation about Suggs perhaps being the defensive MVP of the year.
First turnover of the day for either team. And a first down for Baltimore with 7:15 to go. Rice trying to emerge through that hole, and there was nothing there. A gain of 1.5 yards. Ray Maualuga will get credit for the stop. So the fumble by the second-year tight end out of Oklahoma, Jermaine Gresham. Terrell Suggs, who told us, I have not won a championship at any level, high school, college, professional. He's a 9-year veteran. He said the window is closing for this group defensively, so they need to go out and grab the Lombardi Trophy.
And that forced fumble set a new Baltimore record of 7 forced fumbles for Suggs.
2nd and 8. Fake the handoff. Flacco underneath Devontae Leach. Leach close to first down yardage, about 1 yard shy.
And I asked Suggs about that defensive MVP, and he's gone on record saying that is an individual record. I'm more interested in the team record, chasing that Lombardi, as he likes to call the trophy that the Super Bowl champion receives.
A huge play here on 3rd and 1. Under 6 minutes to go. Handoff, Rice. First down and more. Ray Rice breaking to the clear. Rice is in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Ray Rice with another long touchdown run, 51 yards.
Following his classic fullback, Devontae Leach is going to the beach at the Pro Bowl in Hawaii because of plays like this. Watch his block on Maualuga. He searches out the middle linebacker, and that's all Ray Rice needs. 70 yards in the first quarter, 51 here in the fourth. Both touchdowns.
Rice telling us that there are only a few true fullbacks left in the NFL. Devontae Leach is one of them, the enforcer for this team. He's old school. And what an addition he has turned out to be for the Ravens. Billy Cundiff, the extra point. And this has just sucked all the air out of this building.
Cam Cameron talked about Devontae Leach being the hidden guy in all we do. He brings a physical presence. Ray Rice will be giving him some Christmas presents for blocks such as that one. Ray Rice, 20 carries now, 169 yards and 2 scores.
He has put up big numbers against the Bengals this season, and he has just given Baltimore some breathing room here in the fourth quarter in their bid for the number 2 seed in the AFC and the AFC North title. Ray Rice with his head coach John Harbaugh. Cincinnati was driving, trying to take the lead on the Ravens. A fumble by Gresham. Pollard recovers, and then Baltimore turns it into 7.
It was a tight end screen that really wasn't out far enough, out wide enough. So when Gresham had the ball, there was still a lot of traffic there. Then he decided to turn slightly to the inside, and that's where the speed of Suggs came from behind to knock the ball out. When we talk about playoff games and games that, such as this one, that have the playoff implications, and turnovers always seem to be the deciding factor. Just one today, and the Ravens quickly turn it into a touchdown.
24-13 Baltimore. Cundiff kicking it off. Brandon Tate is deep, and this one is out of the back of the end zone. A touchback. Cincinnati with 5:41 to work with, and now down 2 scores. The Bengals have been an excellent come-from-behind team this season. Let's take you back. Week 4, they trailed against Buffalo 17-3. They won the game 23-20. Week 9 at Tennessee, down 17-7. A rally to win it 24-17. Week 12 against Cleveland, down 17-7. They win it 23-20. One of 5 teams in NFL history to come back from a double-digit halftime deficit to win 3 times in one season. Dalton, the rookie, floats it out of bounds. Haloti Ngata with a shot.
Took Tony Corrente a long time to find where his flag was, which pocket it was in. He just barely threw the flag long after the hit on Dalton. Some question as to whether he threw the ball far enough to do.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, completely unnecessary hit on the quarterback, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Haloti Ngata with a clearly what was the verbiage there?
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary? This is football. Everything's necessary. Here's Ngata, 92.
So Tony's sharing his opinion.
Totally unnecessary.
Totally. First down for Cincinnati out of the gun. Dalton cannot complete that pass as you had Leonard and Jerome Simpson in the area together at 2nd and 10.
Really a tall order, trailing by 11 now. Just 2 timeouts to work with for Dalton and the Bengals. As you can see, the wind blowing wrappers around this field. Very gusty down on the field. It looked like the ball got away from him that time and the wind just took it.
Second and 10 for Cincinnati. 5.5 to go now in the 4th. Dalton, that ball hit at the line of scrimmage, knocked up in the air, incomplete. Pernell McPhee, talented rookie out of Mississippi State. It was McPhee who ended the last meeting between these two teams with a sack on Andy Dalton. He's got 6 sacks in his first year, a 5th-round pick.
And he was being blocked by 2 guys right there. Glenn and Nate Livings.
3rd and long now for the Bengals. Out of the gun, Dalton, dump off. Simpson's got room. Simpson with a spin move into Baltimore territory. First down, Cincinnati at the 42-yard line. That's a 23-yard catch and run.
Yeah, just get to the line of scrimmage now. You can't afford to go back in the huddle and huddle up. Dalton will run the hurry-up offense now as we move to 5 minutes to go.
Down 24-13. Simpson can't bring that one in. Incomplete.
Hey, the Ravens have done a real good job on A.J. Green this afternoon. He caught a pass early in this game, but he only has 2 catches for 26 yards.
A.J. Green going to the Pro Bowl. Green passing Chris Collinsworth for the Bengals rookie record for receiving yards in a season. Not sure what happened to that Collinsworth guy. 2nd and 10 now for Cincinnati. Dalton, high throw, incomplete. Simpson the intended target. Penalty markers on the play. Simpson a little slow getting up for Cincinnati. The officials huddle up. Here's Tony Corrente.
Offside, defense, number 55, in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
So Dalton had a free play as Suggs was trying to get the jump. John Harbaugh said Suggs has been the MVP of this team. Complete player, sacks, stops the run, faces the double teams, and he's been a leader for this entire group, not just the defense. 2nd and 5. Dalton, pump and throw over the middle. Hauled in.
That's Andrew Hawkins again on a crucial catch. Dalton with a pump fake, got him down the middle on the linebackers here, and the safety Pollard before Ed Reed can come over and knock him down. Great adjustment to the ball, concentration, strong hands. Andy Hawkins for 26.
So the rookie out of Toledo has put Cincinnati in position here. Underneath, the completion to Brian Leonard, 3 yards, wrapped up by Ray Lewis. We are down to 4:09 and counting left in this fourth quarter. Cincinnati needs 2 scores.
And each of these passes now have to be in the end zone. They can't afford to take 30 seconds off the clock between plays.
Touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Dalton.
And you really can't afford to take a sack here. Throw the ball out of the back of the end zone, stop the clock with that, but the sack keeps the clock rolling and brings up a 3rd down.
And it's 14 sacks on the season for Terrell Suggs. 1.5 behind the all-time franchise record set by Peter Boulware back in 2001. 3rd and 8 now for Cincinnati. Shotgun. Dalton looking to run. Dalton cut down at the 5-yard line by Ray Lewis. They're going to need the field goal at some point. And Marvin Lewis deciding he's going to kick the field goal here.
The fans are disagreeing with this, but they're not doing the math that you just pointed out.
The formula, obviously, if you're this deep, you feel like we're so close to the touchdown, would like to get that out of the way, but now because of the time restraints, they've got to take the field goal. A 23-yard chip shot. Nugent converts. It's an 8-point game with 2:39 to play. Cincinnati has 2 timeouts remaining. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Baltimore in front of Cincinnati, 24-16. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. 60 Minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time.
The key here, Ian, is, as you mentioned, 2 timeouts for the Bengals, so they don't have to onside kick here. With those 2 timeouts, they can stop the clock as long as they keep Baltimore from picking up first downs.
And the game has just gotten a little closer between San Diego and Oakland. 31-25 now, the Chargers in front. They still have 9.5 remaining in that one. Cincinnati is not thinking about backing into the playoffs. The goal all week, this was a confident group that really believed that they could go toe-to-toe with the Baltimore Ravens and win their way into the postseason.
I think that's the remarkable thing about this team, is that they are a young team, but they're a confident team. You talked about all the comebacks they've had this year. That just helps build your confidence. And now the Ravens, anticipating an onside kick, have 10 men within 10 yards of the ball.
This is a Cincinnati team that was 4-12 in 2010. Carson Palmer, the quarterback, threatened to retire. They end up dealing him to Oakland. Andy Dalton steps in and leads the team without missing a beat. Nugent will kick it off and over the head of Lardarius Webb. So Baltimore will have it at the 20-yard line. 2:39 left in the fourth quarter. Marvin Lewis trusting his defense to go out and stop Baltimore here with 2 timeouts remaining and an 8-point differential. If they stop them on a 3-and-out, they can get the ball with just under 2 minutes to play. That's if Baltimore ran 3 straight running plays. We'll see how the Ravens approach this.
And they bringing in their diesel package. Leach at fullback, both tight ends, Dixon and Pitta. And an offsides. Crucial mistake by Marshall Yanda.
False start. Offense, number 73.
This almost guarantees they're going to have to throw a pass in this series.
How about this, Dan? That's Yonda's first penalty of the season.
Well, remember, he didn't practice a lot this week because of injury. And when that happens, this happens sometimes.
Injured ribs and a thigh bruise for Yonda. It's 1st and 15 for Baltimore. Rice in the backfield. Leach in front of him. Smith, the motion man. Handoff, Ray Rice getting to the outside. Rice turns it upfield. Rice is brought down across the 30-yard line.
Phenomenal job by Rice, not only getting to the outside, staying in bounds, picking up the first down, and causing the Bengals to burn a timeout.
Leach and McKinney, along with Dixon, helping to create space for Ray Rice. Complete team effort for Baltimore on the ground.
Such a smart play by Rice. Could have easily stepped out of bounds, saved himself a bruise or two. Knew the most important thing at this point is just take time off the clock.
Look at the numbers. 185 yards for Ray Rice rushing, 2 touchdowns. So effective out in space. And that big play threat that we've seen on display for those 2 long touchdown runs. Now the best that Cincinnati can do is get the ball back with 1:10 left. Again, that's if Baltimore has 3 straight runs and they don't get the first down. Give is to Rice. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Frosty Rucker with a tackle. Maybe it's even a loss for a yard.
Incredible day for Ray Rice. He got it started, just 4th play of the game. 70 yards on this run. Puts Baltimore on top, 7-0 in the second half. Bernard Scott gets the Bengals back in the game with that touchdown. Then the big play by Suggs, forcing the fumble by Gresham. Pollard with the recovery. And then Ray Rice with a long touchdown run. And now Rice, you could add that last 15, 16-yarder that he had. Averaging 8, almost 9 yards of carry. And just such an intelligent player.
Will Andy Dalton get another chance? His team is down by 8. Baltimore has the football, a 2nd and 11. Cincinnati is out of timeouts. 2:26 to play in the 4th. A Baltimore win, they're the number 2 seed in the AFC. A Cincinnati win, they get a wild card spot. Rice trying to accelerate. He picks up 4 yards. Atkins got him down low. And this is going to take us to the 2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. We will come back with the finish here at Paul Brown Stadium with Baltimore holding on to a 24-16 lead over the Bengals. The wind wins today. It's wreaking havoc here in Cincinnati. We've got 2 minutes to play, 4th quarter, Baltimore 24, the Bengals 16, and a 3rd and 8 for the Ravens. You think they have to go run here just to use up clock, and they do. Ray Rice. Bengals make the play defensively with Robert Gathers, and now Baltimore will punt it.
And Baltimore can afford to even let this clock go all the way down to 0, take a delay a game penalty. They have the wind behind them. Sam Cook will be able to give this a ride, but you know the Bengals have done a good job with their return game today. Tate's come close to breaking a couple. Boy, there is nobody covering this man up here.
Brandon Tate standing at his own 20-yard line. What does the wind do with this punt from Sam Cook?
You just throw the ball out here, there's nobody here.
Timeout, Baltimore. This is their 2nd. This is a 30-second timeout.
They just don't trust the punter now, do they?
That's a tough spot. You're up 8. Yeah, you seal the win, but if it doesn't work out and it goes haywire.
And it's windy too, so let's just punt it, right, Coach?
That's what I would say, Coach.
You got the coach.
Rucker was hurt on that last play for Cincinnati on defense. We have 1:12 to go. 4th down for the Baltimore Ravens, and people in Baltimore are on edge knowing what's at stake here for the Ravens. Cincinnati can still get in with a loss. Denver and Kansas City, and it is close to the Chiefs knocking off the Broncos here in Week 17. Cook to punt for Baltimore. Brandon Tate at the 18-yard line of Cincinnati. booming kick. And this one caroms right into the end zone. So back out to the 20-yard line for the Bengals. A 63-yard punt, a net of 43, and Andy Dalton, it comes down to 1:05 of his rookie season with his team down by 8, and he's got to go 80 yards. (24-16). Baltimore in front. First and 10 for the Bengals. Dalton from the gun. Dalton the throw over the middle. In stride. Jermaine Gresham spilled out across midfield, a 31-yard pickup.
Great cover two beater by Gresham right down the middle against Ray Lewis, and a beautiful throw by Dalton.
Denver has lost to Kansas City. The Bengals are going to the playoffs. Now the question, is Baltimore going to be the number 2 seed? Chris Carr with a knockaway on the outside.
Carr almost goes for the distance. If he can grab this pass, he's gone. Ball thrown late to the outside by Dalton. Look at the break by Carr.
.40 seconds to play. Second and 10 for Cincinnati. Dalton offline on that pass for Andrew Hawkins. Third down and long for the Bengals.
So obviously they have 2 downs to pick up this 10 yards to keep the drive going, but just 36 seconds now. And there's the word the fans have just heard about that Denver loss.
Rousing reaction from the fans here at Paul Brown Stadium. They just showed the Oakland-San Diego score as well. Everything is breaking Cincinnati's way. The Jets lose earlier today. Shotgun for Dalton on 3rd and 10. Over the middle, he's got Leonard for a first down. No timeouts though. 27 seconds left. Out across the 35.
Yeah, and just clock it. Kill the ball quickly.
16-yard gain. 18 seconds left. 17 seconds left.
He's going to run a play.
Dalton. Knockdown. Haloti Ngata. 11 seconds remaining.
Well, they wasted a lot of time by not just getting to the line of scrimmage and killing the ball, regrouping in the huddle. But remember, they've got a guy that can jump out of the stadium in Jerome Simpson. Also, Jermaine Gresham can get up to there too at 6'5", so they may be saving all their bullets for the last Hail Mary.
Yeah, toss A.J. Green into that equation as well.
Absolutely, the athletic A.J. Green.
They've got to look sideline here if they want to get one more playoff, or just go Hail Mary now. Dalton, 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Dalton floats it upstairs. Knocked away. Lardarius Webb with 2 seconds remaining. A.J. Green was in the end zone.
And the fans can't believe that they're not calling pass interference on Lardarius Webb on A.J. Green. Right side of the screen. Good move by Dalton here to buy extra time. Rolling to his right. Now he sees A.J. Green. Now watch Lardarius Webb. Had his left hand on the shoulder of A.J. Green. Pulled his jersey. The official standing right there won't throw the flag.
So this is it. 2 seconds to play. Cincinnati down 8. Dalton steps. Dalton throws. Hail Mary. Battle for it. It's incomplete. The Baltimore Ravens have secured the number 2 seed in the AFC, a first-round bye. And they'll have home field in the divisional round as they capture the AFC North. They sweep the division to finish 12-4. The Bengals, with the loss, are still going to the playoffs and finish up at 9-7. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, Unforgettable, The Good Wife, CSI Miami. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Cincinnati. Baltimore holds on for the win as we head to JB in New York.